Danny Lyon's The Bikeriders is the coolest book I've ever seen. The look and the feel of it. Then you start opening it up.
We wouldn't have all these images without Danny, you know, we wouldn't have the story.
The kind of environments in which he's captured these people in, you want to be a part of it.
One of the things that took me the longest was trying to figure out how to turn a book of photographs into a narrative film. The biggest thing that I invented was the idea of this love triangle.
This is our club. We are all friends here.
On the page, Johnny was a bit of a shadow. Johnny was the character that I had to invent the most of. He was this guy that was playing the part of a biker gang leader.
The fuck you want to start a riding club for? All those clubs do is sit around talking about motorcycles. That's what we do.
In Austin's character, Benny, he sees maybe that type of person.
I can't run this club forever, you know. I'm gonna have to find somebody to take it over, you know.
He's always got one foot out of the covers, sort of lone wolf. Yet there's this part of humanity that craves togetherness. And he ends up being pulled between them. Kathy wants Benny to stop riding, and Johnny wants Benny to take over.
You can't have him. The club can't have him. He's mine.
He wants to ride a bike. He'll ride a bike.
When you pick up Danny's book and you're reading those interviews, Kathy jumps off the page.
You left me one beer out of a whole case of bottles. What saints?
She's a very exuberant woman who says exactly what she thinks, and she's an incredible storyteller. And I don't think she quite realizes how good of a storyteller she is.
She's like the backbone of the entire piece.
The contradictions that she's faced with when it comes to the gang and what they represent, and her love of Benny.
I want you to quit riding. I want you to quit the club.
Don't ask that.
You can feel it in the movie. They came in every day ready to play and to work really hard.
You never know when you meet your heroes if you're gonna get along, and Tom makes me laugh harder than almost anyone in this world.
Hey, look at this guy. You rode in all the way on that.
We didn't know what he was gonna sound like. When he first opened his mouth, it was like, we all went, what? That's so wild. There was a little Marlon Brando in there. I think there was a little Jimmy Cagney in there. It worked so well for us. We were so excited.
Austin Butler, just on sight, starts to change the way people behave. And the air changes, the temperature changes.
Everyone who meets him, I think, falls in love with him as soon as he walks in a room.
He's amazing, man. He's pretty much game for everything, and it was a lot of fun watching him.
I think there was a healthy camaraderie. When Benny comes over to talk to Kathy, Tom yells out, "Hey, Austin, just turn your chair around. Just go ahead and turn your chair around." Austin did it, and then it gave him something to prop his arms up on, and these massive biceps and triceps glistening in the light.
Well, so what are we doing here? Just shooting the breeze?
Jodie Comer, it has to be one of the greatest performances I've ever seen in my life.
She's just a badass actor.
The work that she's done on her voice in this, I was just floored by it.
All I could think about was riding a stupid motorcycle. I tell you, it'd be funny if it wasn't so tragic.
There's a tremendous amount of dialogue for Kathy, and Danny was very gracious. He just turned over all of his original audio recordings.
Kathy, remember once when you were telling me about, when you first met the guys and how you,
Well, I changed. I have.
All right, well, why don't you talk to me about that?
Well, in a year. Last year. What, from the beginning?
When I got the voice recordings, I remember going, oh my God, who's this woman? And I felt like the way to really get an essence of her was through her voice.
We're in the mid-60s, and it's mainly Midwestern Chicago that is what you'll hear.
We started working together like 2.5 months before we started.
Jeff came into my office with this big grin on his face, and he plays this recording of Kathy. And I was like, yeah, I know that recording. We've heard it a lot. And he goes, that's Jodie. And I was like, what?
Jodie had taken every single word and phonetically broken it down to memorize it in that accent.
I went there, and I never felt so out of place in all my life.
Just the layers of character that you see.
You and me, kid.
I mean, these actors, they're all stone cold actors.
I can't imagine a better cast than Tom Hardy, Austin Butler, and Jodie Comer. I can't imagine.
Is that what this club is now?